We have done some polling. Nigerians are tired of the APC. We know that. We have polled that. There is 91% disapproval of this administration across the country. 91% disapproval. It's the worst in Nigeria's history. And I have mentioned some time ago that in many parts of the country, particularly in the southeast and the north, President Tinubu has 91% disapproval rating. Even in Lagos, he has 78% disapproval rating. Okay, in some states,
and that's a scientific poll.
It's a scientific poll,
right.
And in some states in the southwest, he's doing a bit better. Ondo, Ekiti, he's doing better than 78% disapproval rating, but there is nowhere he's doing better than 50%, even in the southwest. The guy is gone. He's performed miserably. The economy has tanked. The security architecture has failed. There are no clear trade, industrial, and investment policies. Everything is going wrong. But Nigerians are looking for a credible option.
Yeah, but
they want to see people coming together, putting aside their differences and ambitions, and giving them an alternative to this failure of a government. But for me, priority number one is to get a person that will improve the quality of governance in Nigeria. If the quality of governance in Nigeria is improved, I will thrive. I will do well. Okay? I have an address. I have a profession. I have capabilities. I don't need to be in politics. I don't need to be in public service to thrive. So first order of business is to have a country that is well run, where the resources are applied, where people have a great opportunity to realize their potential. So for me, that's number one. Okay? That person also should be able to defeat President Tinubu, because President Tinubu is determined to make this election look as if it is settled. It is not. They are giving the impression through defections and so on as if, this is set. It is not. We know. Okay? It is not. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, I have looked at the numbers, I have looked at the trends of elections. President Tinubu has no pathway to win. He cannot win. In fact, you'd be lucky if he's third. Everybody is saying we have a problem. This country is targeted for destruction by a collection of urban bandits. Let's come together, send them back home, and put this country back on track. Well, it is about fixing the country. Nobody is talking about his ambition. I have no ambition. Okay? I just feel that having contributed to bringing about this tragedy to Nigeria by contributing to the emergence of Bola Tinubu as president, I should contribute in my last lap, okay? Because I'm 65, I should be retiring. In my last lap, let me
got a long way to go.
Let me contribute towards removing this evil that I believe will destroy Nigeria if left unchecked. So don't trust me if I say vote for Charles Aniagolu. Look at your situation, look at yourself, and ask yourself whether the person that I'm campaigning for or the person that I'm supporting to be president will be better than what you have now. When we supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu for president, we were under the mistaken impression that he will be better.
Many people would say that there was never anything about him that really inspired people to believe that he could really change this country dramatically. He didn't take part in any debates that brought some new insight. He wasn't particularly charismatic, and many people didn't see anything in his DNA that made him particularly stand out. Was there something about him that you detected that separated him from the pack as far as you were concerned and made you support him so totally in 2023?
Okay, so let me respond to that in two steps, okay? Because, it's very easy for non-politicians to analyze this thing as one continuing narrative. But actually, the way the thought process works is this, okay? And this is how it worked in 2022. For us, as northern APC governors, the first concern we had was after 8 years of Buhari, power should go to the south. We believe that there was such an understanding in our party. We were part of the formation of the party, and we felt that that was an honorable thing that must be upheld. So that was the first step. So we didn't start by saying we want A or B to be president. We just said, look, power should go to the south. That was the first step. The second step is, now that power has gone to the south, who do we support that we think will have a chance of winning? Okay? Because you want your party to win. You want to be the party in power. And lots of calculations went into that. And Bola Tinubu became the beneficiary of that. But we didn't start with supporting a candidate. No, no, no. And I want to say that it was the support of the governors of the Northwest, Northeast, and North Central that was decisive in deciding the outcome of the primaries as well as the election. Of course, Bola Tinubu's puppeteers are now denying that. They are saying all kinds of things, and they will learn their lesson in 2027. For me personally, Bola Tinubu was never someone I was close to, even in the party, because in the party I was a Buhari boy. Bola has his boys, Buhari had his boys. We are Buharists. No apologies. So Bola Tinubu never really liked me. We never really got along. The person that I got along with was Baba Akande, and I was his deputy national secretary. We were among the first leaders of the party. As far as I was concerned, once Bola Tinubu got the ticket of the party, it was my duty as a party man to do my best to deliver him in Kaduna, and wherever I see that there is a potential problem that I can solve to ensure his election, I will do that. Is he perfect? No. Some people said Bola Tinubu is not his name. Nobody knows his birth date for sure. Nobody knows who his parents are for sure. There are all kinds of questions.
And that didn't bother you at the time?
It did bother me because I know my name, I know my parents, I know my birth date, I know I have classmates, okay, and there are no questions about whether I graduated from Ahmad Bello University or not, okay. All those questions were there about about Tinubu. But for me, the question was, he was governor of Lagos, yes? How did he govern Lagos? He governed Lagos in a very inclusive manner. He had an Igbo guy as a commissioner. He had another Hausa man from Daura as one of his special advisors. In Lagos, in 1999, that was almost unique. He ran an inclusive government. After winning the elections with the Agberos and all that, he went and got the Cardosos, Wale Eduns, Yemi Osinbanjos from the private sector to come and help him run the government. So he did a decent job in governing Lagos. That's the only thing we know about him as far as governing is concerned. You know, Charles, every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future, okay? The way I looked at it is, well, look, he did a decent job in Lagos. Lagos has improved. You can't deny that. He laid a foundation. Many people have issues about how he held on to Lagos and so on and so forth, but the place is improving. If he can do half of that on a pan-Nigeria level, this country will move forward. So I said, look, he's the candidate of the party. I will support him. I will do everything to ensure he wins. So that's my explanation.
Right.
Now, fast forward.
He's failed you.
Fast forward.
As you
he
said.
has. Look, the one thing I was almost confident President Tinubu would do would be to have a competent team, solid people. Look at his cabinet. It's a joke. The largest cabinet in Nigeria's history, maybe there are 5 ministers that can be called ministers in the time I was minister, which was 20 years prior. Okay? Who is the Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala in that cabinet? Who is the Obi Ezekwesili? You know, there is just no quality. as I said, apart from about 5
you
of
could ask
them.
the same question,
Yeah.
who is the Nasir El Rufai?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to go to that level.
Well, the reason
okay?
I bring that up is that
Yeah.
a lot of people will be saying that you're saying these things because you didn't make it into the cabinet when you expected to do so. And I'm wondering if that, what some interpreted as a slap in the face for you.
Anytime I wake up and I see the Tinubu government inflicting more pain on Nigerians and just bungling governance, the simplest things in governance that I knew when I was DG of BP, these guys can't even get it together. Whenever I see that, I thank God.
In 2015, the North said power must return to us. In 2023, they said we'll support you, but on our terms. Now, just 2 years into Tinubu's presidency, that same North is already sharpening its political knives. But why? Why does it seem like every time a Southerner is in power, the North starts plotting who really owns Nigeria? This is more than politics. It's entitlement. It's control. It's a story of domination masked as democracy. And in this video, we'll expose the historical roots of this power struggle, dissect what a political analyst reviewed on Nigeria Info FM. Let's go back to 1960 at independence. Nigeria's colonial legacy left behind an unbalanced federation. The British had favored the North with indirect rule, allowing its emirs to consolidate power, while the South was fragmented, cosmopolitan, and politically vibrant. When elections came, population numbers were manipulated in favor of the North. The idea was simple: give the region with the least education the most political power for stability. But this gift created a mindset. The mindset was, we are the majority, we own the country. Between 1966 to 1999, 33 years, it might surprise you to know that Nigeria had only one southern head of state, Ernest Shonekan, and he lasted just 83 days. Power was a northern monopoly. And it wasn't just accidental, it was engineered. Now fast forward to 2010. President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua dies. While in office, his southern vice president Goodluck Jonathan takes over. But the North sees this as betrayal. The informal zoning agreement, where the presidency rotates between North and South, had been broken. The North reacted, not just with opposition, but with coordinated destabilization. Boko Haram escalated, Northern elders cried foul, and in 2015, they mobilized massively for Muhammadu Buhari.
The government has failed us automatically, and we are here to fight for our rights from the beginning to the end. Let the subsidies belong to them, and let the fuel belong to us. The boys are now in action to stand for 48 hours every day till when we achieve our goals. Go and tell Jonathan that he should leave that post, that he's not capable of holding Nigeria problem. From now onward, we are going to bring man of our own choice.
And Jonathan was defeated. It wasn't just a political campaign, it was war by other means. The message was loud and clear. And what was the message? Never again will the South sit in our chair for too long. You can imagine. For 8 years, Nigeria endured economic downturn, rising insecurity, and fuel crisis. The president was as clueless as anything, but the northern elite stayed largely silent. Why? Because the power was where they wanted it. Buhari filled key positions with northerners. The DSS, the Army, the Air Force, the police, the NNPC, Nigerian Ports Authority, FIRS, name it, all were northern controlled. And even when the North bled through bandits and insurgents, no one dared to challenge him. The vice president then, Yemi Osinbajo, a Southern Christian, was routinely sidelined. The real power brokers, the Mamman Dauras, the Abba Kiaris, Tinubu the Kingmaker was even shut out. And before the 2023 election, he almost wasn't considered as a candidate, even if there was an understanding from what we heard between him and Muhammadu Buhari. And Tinubu insisted it was his turn. But then he also knew he couldn't win without the North. So what did he do? He took a bold step. He picked Kashim Shettima, a Northern Muslim, as running mate, and that resulted to a Muslim ticket in a secular country where half of the population are Christians. It was risky for the South, but good for the Northern Muslim. And it worked. Tinubu won, but not by love, by contract. Even if his victory is still debatable, the North gave him power, and they expected it to be shared, not used. And now that their demands aren't fully met, they are already revolting. They are fuming. They are plotting. Dr. Dahiru Mahjeed, a respected Northern political analyst, pulled back the curtain in a recent interview on Nigerian Info Abuja, where he said that the North views zoning as a binding agreement. When they support a Southern candidate, they expect it to be transactional. Power sharing is not optional. It's the price of support. He further explained that religion, especially Islam, is used to unify the region and create a bloc vote, not out of faith, but out of political expediency. And now, because Tinubu hasn't delivered enough Northern appointment and patronage, they want him out. Hear him yourself.
I don't know who will win this next election. I don't know, at least not now. I don't know yet. I'm not saying he will not win, but let me tell you something. If a Northerner wins this election that is coming, to this election, no Southerner again, and this one, write it, not today's date down, there is nobody across the southern state that will ever benefit of Nigeria till their kingdom come. And probably when that
Why? It sounds very extreme what you're saying. Because we could also have someone from the north do another 4 years, and it's 8 years after that, someone from the south comes around.
No party will risk it anymore, because it will have been proven that Northerners can install and remove a president as soon as they decide that they are angry in Kaduna. So no party will risk their ticket anymore. It's like in Benue now. How do you wish any party that will give their ticket to a non-TV man? Simple. So if you don't have ticket as a Southerner of a major party, how will you go? How you go to president? It would have created an apartheid system, a dichotomy that places a concrete, if not an iron ceiling, on the aspiration of half of our country beyond the VP position. I don't want to live in such a country. It's as simple as that. It's commonsensical. Again, Atiku protested zoning violation so much that they threatened brimstone, they threatened hell, they threatened hellfire on earth. By 2015, Jonathan was also going to contest. When they printed one form for him, they left the PDP Kabadaya. Until the PDP repented in 2017 and said, we made a mistake for violating zoning, so we're going to take it back to the north. That was when Atiku and co returned, and he was handed the ticket by the southern half that kept the party alive for that first phase of loss of power. And in 2023, we predicted that if you go into is the PDP still how far with PDP?
Well, Damagung has said people should stop demarketing the party.
In the next few days, more PDP governors will leave.
Sadly, that's what he's looking at, because the vice chair of the APC.
To the APC.
So, from the video, Mahjeed's warning is clear. The North sees itself as the owner of Nigeria, and when you don't play along by their rules, they take the ball and they go home, just like kids in the field. Isn't that amazing? Now, what becomes of 2027? The storm is already brewing. The North is heading a coalition Even if they have some southern element, it's obviously a northern thing. People like Atiku Abubakar, El Rufai, and some other people, they're seriously building alliances. People who were once enemies have become united because they want to unseat a southern president. There are also murmurs that Shettima is in that bracket and he would likely be dropped by Tinubu before the 2027 elections. The northern governors are becoming increasingly vocal. We could see that in the way they oppose certain policies of Tinubu. What do we expect? They're not to try to reclaim the presidency, no doubt. If not through Atiku, then maybe through a younger, more marketable candidate like Zulum or even El Rufai. But this time, the South may fight back. The Igbos, still excluded, may demand their turn. The Niger Delta may threaten oil shutdowns, and the Middle Belt may refuse to vote along old lines. So we ask again, who owns Nigeria? The truth is, no one does. But for too long, a cabal in the north has acted like they do. And unless this mindset is shattered, unless we build a country where leadership is based on merit, not geography, Nigeria will remain in a cycle of betrayal, backstabbing, and broken dreams. 2027 may be the last chance to fix it, or the beginning of the end. People such as Peter Obi, who has what it takes to lead the country, have always been refused the opportunity to be there. And the funny thing is, it's not as if the North is better than any other part of the country, even if they've retained power for the longest. So what does that tell us? They just want power and they don't really know what to do with it, apart from looting the country dry and making life difficult for everyone. If you agree with this video, please like, share, subscribe. If you believe Nigeria belongs to all of us, not just a powerful few, drop a comment. Do you think Tinubu will survive the Northern Revolt in 2027, or will history repeat itself? Even though this video seems to be attacking the Northern elites, that is not the idea. The point is, the Northern elites, the cabals, the few of them from the North, are trying to hold the country to ransom, just as some also few cabals in the South are trying to hold Southern Nigeria to ransom. It is time for Nigeria to break free from this chain, and every hand must be on deck.